I really never wanted to create a prescription. It wasn't something that I thought about, but after using the most popular prescription for 23 years, I kept having problems over and over and over again with not enough torque in the upper incisors. Lower posteriors were tipped in too far. I could go on and on about where the problems were, but it seemed to me that if we were using a straight wire concept of treatment, I was doing an awful lot of bending to undo things that were done by a bracket system. And I went from that bracket system to the next most popular bracket system, and I saw problems with those. And I didn't see any answers. I used the vast majority of prescriptions until I finally decided that I needed to do something, and we developed our own prescription. The prescription is meant to get people, orthodontists, to finish cases in the shortest amount of time with superb functional finishing. And so we took into account all the things that I wanted and what would I want if I were a patient. So number one, we don't want to fill the slot. And if we don't fill the slot with a full-size wire, then you have to make accommodations so that you get what you might get if you did fill the slot. Also, had indications as to what could we use for anchorage. Everything that is undoable to an orthodontic patient, I have done to me. I have worn headgear, I've had brackets put on, I've had bands put on, I've had every kind of separator put on my own teeth. I've had different kinds of bite ramps, metal bite ramps and composite bite ramps. I've had those put on my teeth. I've had braces. At 60 years old, I had braces because I felt I needed to have as good an occlusion as possible, because I had had some large fillings put in when I was a teenager and we were going to put crowns in. So I wanted to give my dentist the best chance of putting in perfect crowns, or maybe just short of perfect crowns. So I know what I liked and what I didn't like. I didn't like a transpalatal bar, and sometimes I was putting in two. They are nasty. And so I said, well, what could I do to avoid a transpalatal bar? We developed an anchorage molar that was called the 20/20 molar. It had 20 degrees of rotation, which is a lot, and 20 degrees of buccal root torque. That rotation enabled me to eliminate many things. I rarely use TADs. I never use TPAs. And we are able to create anchorage with that molar in anchorage situations. It has worked beautifully when you know how and when to use it. So each tooth I have thought of what do I need to get to full functional finishing in as short a time as possible. And we came up with the prescription, and Phoresident has, we've made some changes and some improvements to a prescription that I've had for 15 years, and I'm excited for what those changes are going to bring.